away from 8 o'clock. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. He is Jeff Wacker, IUP Community Music School, with us this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. It's a good thing we got you in today because you guys are ready to roll, aren't you?
We are rolling in about 15 minutes.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. IUP Community Music School is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity, I guess is the best word.
It is.
For folks to do something that maybe they've always dreamed of and never have taken that opportunity, but now's the time.
It is. I heard an interesting quote the other day. I think it was a Henry Ford quote. It said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's exactly it. If you think you can, sure, you can do music. You can start young. You can start when you're middle-aged. You can start when you're older. It doesn't really matter. Music is for everybody. Yeah. And you can just jump right on in there. And if you need a little help, we're the place to come for a little help.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to talk about IUP Community Music School, but it's interesting the way you put that, because some people would say, I've always thought it would be really cool to play guitar or play piano or whatever it might be, but I've got a tin ear. I've got every kind of excuse for not doing it. This eliminates all excuses, doesn't it?
You never know until you try, and you may think, or maybe it was someone way back in your past that said, "Oh, you can't do that," or you just don't have the ear for it, or it's not in our family genes. I mean, there are tons of excuses, but really you don't know until you try. And really, we are a very affordable way to go out there and try it, and see how you do. And I can almost guarantee you, everybody has a little bit of musical talent, and it's something that you can enjoy on your own, or maybe you get to the point where you want to play in the community band, you want to sing in a choir, you want to sing in your church choir, you want to play at church. I mean, it just takes a little bit of work, belief, and effort, and we'll help you along the way.
All right. There's something in there, and Community Music School can help pull it out of you.
Absolutely.
All right. So explain the concept. How does it work? How does someone then get involved?
Well, you can go to the website. It's a really easy website, iup.edu/communitymusic. And there's several different pages there that pertain to the different things that we offer. If you're interested in private lessons, you obviously go to the private lessons page. We have different levels of instructors. So we start with our teaching apprentices. Those are undergraduate students, and they are recommended by their major professor. So if you're a sax player and you want to teach in the community music school, you're maybe a sophomore or junior, the saxophone professor has to recommend you. I just don't allow you to teach. And when the expert, the saxophone professor, says you're ready to give this a try, then we go through the process of bringing them into the community music school to teach. You can bump up a level. Those are our teaching artists, and those are generally graduate students.
Okay.
And sometimes members out of the community who already have a degree in music. They've got to have a bachelor's or master's to be a teaching artist. And then you can also study with an IUP faculty member that chooses to teach through the community music school. Some do, some don't. But if they do, then you can take lessons with them. That's usually, the higher end student, like that high school kid, maybe thinking about music as a career.
Just put a little polish on it.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for that higher end instruction, and some help that maybe gets them into the auditions for music schools, that kind of stuff. So really, it can be, from just getting started, and really our teaching apprentices, they're usually juniors or seniors. And they're just about music teachers.
Yeah.
They're almost there. And so it's a great experience for them.
Sure.
Because, one, they're getting the experience of teaching, and we're getting affordable lessons to those in the community. And those teachers also have the opportunity to be mentored by their professor. So they might have a young student who's doing something, and the apprentice goes, what do you do with that? I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
So they go to their professor and they say, okay, I'm seeing this. What's the best way to work on this? And their professor gives them some tips and pointers, and it really becomes a great mentoring opportunity.
Absolutely. Okay. A couple of things that people might say. You already addressed affordability. It's very affordable.
It is.
I don't have the time. They don't offer classes when I'm available. Those would be two other things that people might say would prevent them from taking classes.
Well, time, you have to decide that you want to make the time. If you've got a busy schedule how important is it to you?
Yeah.
And that comes down to anything in life that people want to do. You have to make time for what you feel is going to be fun, important in your life.
Hmm.
So we think it's important. Make some time.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's as I always say, and I'm not the originator of this, but it's not that you don't have the time; it's that you choose to use your time in other ways.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other one is that Cogswell, all the lessons and everything, all the activities take place in Cogswell Hall Music Building.
Hmm.
That is open from 7 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure we can find a time for a private lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we've been talking mostly about instruments, but
Yep.
vocal as well.
Yes, absolutely. Quite frankly, the most popular instrument that people ask for is piano.
Uh-huh.
And then second to that is voice.
Hmm.
Then you start having guitar and percussion, and then a smattering of the other instruments, the woodwinds and the brass. And quite honestly, I'm a little surprised that we don't have more woodwinds and brass.
Yeah.
People sign up,
Hmm.
but we get some of each, but not a ton. But we get lots of piano and voice.
Yeah.
Those are popular. Yeah.
Piano and voice, and
Yeah.
throw in a little guitar in there, and that probably would be
Absolutely.
there's your top three. We're talking about community music schools, so we have not addressed how do I do this, Jeff? Okay, you've convinced me. I want to learn to play the oboe because I'm
Right.
crazy. And so how do I do it?
Well, if you are a first-time person who's never been with community music school, there's a link on our website, and it's a little crimson bar, crimson colored, go figure. It says register now on it. You click on it. It's an online registration form. You fill it out. It's pretty basic, pretty simple. And when you submit it, I get an email that there's a new registration, and I contact you, and we figure out what you'd like to do, and we get you set up with an instructor. If you're already done some lessons or something in the community music school, you just email me, community-music@iup.edu. That's all you have to do, and say, hey, want to sign up for some more lessons? I'd love to take 10 45-minute lessons. I'd like to continue with this instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Done. I process it.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's wonderful. Of course, if that instructor has graduated from college and moved on to their job in Sacramento, California, might be a little hard to hook up with them, but you're going to get somebody that is going to be able to help you with whatever it is that you want to pursue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we also have some ensembles too.
Yeah.
They're not quite all back.
Mm-hmm.
Our bigger adult choir, the Indiana Community Choir, we're still holding off just a little longer on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we're bringing back our Crimson Youth Choir this semester. And that's under the direction of K1. I think you remember she
Sure.
was in, and she's going to be back. And people are really excited.
Tremendous.
Oh, she is just great.
Yeah.
Kids love her. She's got so much experience. She's just really terrific director.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be back. We are going to follow the guidelines that the music department and the university are putting forth for our ensembles. Keep everybody safe as far as masking. That's all on the website. The community band is also going to be back.
Okay.
And you remember Dr. Warsbit, Jason Warsbit.
Absolutely.
He is going to be leading that again. And again, you walk in the door with a mask on, you go to where we're rehearsing, you take it off. We have the players spaced out a little further than normal.
Sure.
You have a great rehearsal, you enjoy the time, put your mask back on, walk out the door, and you're done.
There you
So
go.
keeping it simple, but keeping people safe.
IUP Community Music School is underway even as we speak here this morning on Indiana in the Morning.
right.
Jeff Wacker joining us here today. What about somebody who can't get in today, has to wait a week, has to wait a couple of weeks maybe before they could actually participate because of whatever factors might there be?
Right. Well, one of the things that I did early on was try to make this as flexible as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, it was a 14-week session in the semester. You bought a one package of 14 lessons and you were done. So if you missed out the first 2 or 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
you missed out on some lessons. You still bought that package. And I wanted to make it a little more flexible. So signing up for private lessons is ongoing throughout the semester. The only requirement is that you take a minimum of 7 lessons.
Okay.
So really, you can go into week 2, 3, 4, 5. I've had people sign up in week 8 or 9
Uh-huh.
for 7 lessons. But because we use the time between semesters for makeup lessons and for additional lessons, they can get in those 7 lessons before the start of the next semester.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
works great. It's just very flexible.
And of course, that depends upon the availability of the teacher as well.
It It does. If your teacher is going back to New Jersey for Christmas break, you want to get your lessons in before the end of the semester.
Get those in. Learn how to play Jingle Bells now.
Although I will tell you, we have a little workaround on that now because we're all so familiar with Zoom.
That's true.
They can get a couple more lessons with their instructor through Zoom, and they do that. And some people really like it. I've still got a few students, they're signing up for Zoom lessons, and we still do that. Most people want to be back in person.
Sure.
But we do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, it makes for some interesting mashups when everybody's doing Zoom. You could get your community choir going that way, couldn't you?
That would be a very scary thing.
Maybe we'll work on that for the future.
Yeah, we'll think about that one.
The Community Music School from IUP. A lot of people have to come together to make this happen, and the guy who coordinates it all is right across the microphone from me right now, Jeff Wacker. Thanks for coming in. Once more, if you would give the information for folks who are interested in taking lessons.
Sure. You can get on the website, iup.edu/communitymusic. You can email me at community-music@iup.edu, or the old phone still works, 724-357-4565, and that's a direct line. You'll get me.
There you go. There you go. Jeff, thanks for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Fox News at the top of the hour is up next.
Hello, this is Carrie Hart, Funeral Director of the John A. Leftall Funeral Home and Leftall Monuments. A monument not only marks the final resting place of an individual, but should also be a reflection of your loved one's life. The Leftall Funeral Home has been providing the